Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Just coming in the greenhouse here, and I thought I would give you guys a greenhouse tour for May, since it's already May now. Time always gets away from me. I try to do these monthly, but it just never happens to happen every month. So it seems like every second month you guys kind of get a greenhouse tour. But anyways, there has been some great weather here, and it's been hot and sunny for a lot of the time in the last well, since we last did an update. Lots of stuff is coming out in spike and in bloom. Lots to show you. So this isn't just like an orchid tour or a carnivorous plant tour. This is going to be the actual greenhouse tour, and we'll see what's going on in here with the Hoyas and some little new additions and stuff like that. But why don't we get started the way we always do, and we're going to take the same sort of tour, the same sort of course here. I will mention first, while I'm thinking about it, these little plants right here, these are my 2-year-old son's plants. He comes in here every day, and anything that's within his height, he has the old mister hose out and he's misting. So a lot of the plants on the lower level get a little bit more misting than they need to, but all in all, I'm not too worried about it. If anything happens, it happens. So these plants down here, here's some Dracula orchids, and you can see the morning sun. So they're in some nice sun right now. This is Dracula Bella, and lots of buds coming out on this particular one here. This one, I can't see the tag, but not coming out. This is another Bella down here. And these plants, they always flower sort of at the same time. So when Bella flowers, all pots of Bella flower at the same time. This is my Ripastroites, how do you say that? Dragonstone. And I think it was flowering the last time we were here too. It was higher up though. A lot of the stuff has been brought down from the roof now. I used some shading on the front where the cattleyas are, but so far I'm able to keep the temperatures cool just with the air conditioner and the humidity up just with the misting and the humidifier there. This one is looking a little yellow. He needs to come away from the window or go a little bit lower. There's always adjusting. I'm always moving plants around depending on the season. So yeah, lots of good root growth on these guys now. And check this one out. This is my Lipotopes bicolor. I mounted it, and this is the first year that it's flowered since I mounted it. It flowers every year. I mean, I mounted it last summer after it was done flowering. And look at it, it is just awesome right now. I'm loving it. Looking really, really nice. The odd one's starting to fade, but you're still catching it looking pretty good. So again, we're on the cool side. This is a cool wall, but you can see how bright it is. We're getting morning sun right now. So it gets lots of morning sun, and then it's kind of got us back to the afternoon sun, which is on the other side there. Here's another one. This one, what is this guy here? I'm going to bring him down for a second here. That's my Proschukia gluteana. It's not going to focus on it, but you'll have to trust me. Now I'll put it back up and show you guys the blooms on it. So these guys bloom forever. Last year it had 1 spike, and now I have at least 3 spikes right now that I can see. And they're all open, so we got 1, 2, 3 sequential bloomers, so this will just keep growing, and these will slowly die, and they'll always have like an inch of blooms on it, and he'll go for the rest of the summer now. A few other orchids here. Nothing much. I'm just sort of like looking for blooms as we go through. I don't want to stop and show you every orchid that's not in bloom. Let's take a step into the warmer side. So if you look up high here, this is my Leafless Orchid. It's starting to grow again. I can see new root tip growth. It definitely stalled for the winter. This is a very warm grower, likes it wet. But there's a new root growth. It sent up spikes last year, but the spikes stalled, and I think they're turning yellow, and so I never did get flowers out of it. What else? This guy was just in bloom the other day, but I think its flowers are gone. So anyways, we'll skip that one. And yeah, what do we got down here? We're gonna go really low. Here is my, what do they call it? Telepogon flora. So you kind of got to look at it through the glass or through the plastic container. This container system has worked flawlessly for me. It's fairly hot and dry on this side of the greenhouse. Sorry, I'm just sort of wiggling everywhere. Wow. I'm down on my knees looking at this because it's quite low now. But yeah, this little system here. At first I was keeping it kind of capped, but you can't do that with the heat and the direct sun. So just the moss on the bottom stays moist, which wicks up to the actual little tiny thimble of full of moss, sort of like size thumbnail of moss that's on the actual mount. But it's working quite well. There's some buds on that one, but I don't see any blooms right now. This one here, there's a bloom right there. Let me see if I can zoom in. I don't have enough hands to hold everything and zoom in here. But yeah, these little containers for these little pleurothalids are working awesome. And they're very low maintenance too. They never dry out. There's a drain hole on the bottom and I just let them flood. The water pours out and they're good. As opposed to, I'm going to bring you back up to this guy. This is another one on a tiny little mount. And whoops, I almost dropped it. It's growing. I can see some new roots coming out in there, but this thing is always dry. So if those ones I just showed you dried out like that, we would have some issues and they wouldn't be so happy. What else can I show you? Here's a truncata. This guy's finally taking off for me. Nice new picture here. Look at this tiny little leaf here. That was like a wintertime leaf, but then it was like boom, boom, which here's another one. And then the last leaf was huge. I did have to lower it down a few inches from the roof because that leaf there got a little bit burnt in the sunshine. That Cattleya looks like it's just fading. Definitely just fading. I can see my one and only purple guy down there. What do they call them? Oh, the name's gone. African violet. It's coming out in flower. I have a Lycaste here that's just finishing up. Just finishing. That is this guy here. He's just a cross. What else? There's all kinds of stuff in here now. It's a good assortment. Little tiny plumeria. This is a nice begonia. Sorry, I just got. I have so many things in front of me. It's hard to keep track here. I love the black leaves on it with the green vines and then the white. It just looks great. What else do we have here? Another begonia here. I really like the begonias and they're just so cheap that it's like, so this is a dragon's wing, I think it is called, and it likes hot, full sun. Seems to be okay in here. I've only had it for a week. There's some little wax begonias down there, but yeah, just to try something different, and they're just like so cheap right now. Here is my Epidendrum. So we are above the 4-foot shelf, so this is like at the 5-foot level here. Sorry for the shaking. Beautiful flowers, consistent bloomer. And yeah, every year I get a spike off of it. It doesn't multiply for me that much, but get a spike. That is Dendrobium Rainbow Dancer. Lots of roots, tiny little pot that's kind of sideways. I find it really hard to water, but we do our best with it. Seems like every cephalotus here is out in spike. You can see all these are flower spikes. So they've done really well this year. Last year I had a couple spikes, and this year, yeah, it's just, there's 2 on this plant and over there, and I don't see one on that corner one yet, but there's one. Like every single pot has a spike almost. So there's some little seedlings from last year. And a couple of my bigger pots. What else is right here? Burbigii, however you say that. He's looking pretty good. Bigger pictures on him now. Vichii, same. He's getting some nicer sized pictures on him. My Gorgonia has got a huge spike on it. Very big. Another week and that'll be open, and it's got another spike there and another spike here, and yeah, it's done really good. Oh, and another spike coming out there. So it's fun discovering spikes while you're filming. Back in here, you're barely going to be able to see it, is the vanilla. I'm touching it right there. That's the vine. So it's doing pretty well. There it is again over there. You can see the main growing tip. So it's fairly close to the south wall, maybe a foot away. It gets very bright light in here. It's quite warm in that spot. And the pot is down below here, way down there. You can see the vine again right at my fingertip going downwards. And the pot is just below it, sitting on a bucket to elevate it off the ground a bit, just to give it a bit of height. Now, what else do we have here? I've had to bring down a lot of the Nepenthes because they just don't like bright light, and my greenhouse is really bright for them, so everything has been lowered. Oh, we just about missed this guy. Check this out. So I found that the humidity just wasn't enough for this little Vanda, and I actually lost a Vanda, I think due to lack of humidity, lack of watering it, and another one of my Vandas is not looking so good. So this one I bagged up real quick, and it drinks the water out of the bag super quick, but it gets nice and humid in there. But yeah, it's out in flower up there. So sorry about the backlighting. It's my little miniature sort of flat red one. And it's doing pretty good. I haven't been up on the stool to see what's really going on the top shelf for a while. I can't see any buds at this point, but it doesn't mean there isn't any up there. What else do we have here? Here's my Carnivorous Iliad. It's gone to the very front south wall. In my little tiny, never before seen Stapelia collection. I think that's how you say it. They're kind of hurting. I try my best with them, but I don't give them my full attention. So here is a little Phalaenopsis. It's almost done blooming. It's one of the mini phals, and I did that same bag trick again with it, and you can see the humidity in the bag, keeping all these roots just a little bit moister. Less maintenance for me. Here is my Jewel Box Cattleya. You missed most of it. It was looking amazing. Some of the blooms are starting to fade now, but we'll just focus on the ones that aren't fading, and they're just such a vibrant red. So lovely little miniature plant. Lovely little plant. I see back in there is Maxillaria variabilis in bloom, quite close to the front wall. Now we're not going to go into the warm chamber today. We're going to stay out of there. That's just where the bicals are, some warm growing Hoyas. But check this out. This is different from the last time. My phals are all back out here, at least for the summertime. And I managed to hang most of the pots on this wall. It was this empty space anyways, so there's a lot of phals in bloom right now. That one's fairly nice. Another nice one there. This one's similar to the one that we just saw in the bag. But yeah, I managed to hang them all on this wall just by putting these little hooks on the back of them. And so it gave me... This was like 4 square feet of space that's now utilized anyways. So they're going to live here. Hopefully it's not too bright for them, right? If we look back that way, the sun comes in this way, but it's got to get past a few plants to get to them and that sort of thing. So hopefully they don't get cooked. I may have to drop some shade cloth down like in front of them in order to make sure that they don't get too bright if I see that starting to happen. Nice white one. This guy just repotted yesterday. I did a mainly moss mix. He's so airy. I was finding him hard to keep wet. And I'm just so busy these days that it's hard to stay on top of everything. What's left of my little Howeria. So it was blooming for a long time. You can see some spent spikes. A few little side blooms are coming off the spent spikes. My little Bumble Bee Orchid has finished blooming, but I see another spike on it there. So that's nice. Nice new leaf on my Bulbophyllum Phalaenopsis. And yeah, so that's the warm side. And one wall on the cool side. So why don't we leave it here? We've been about 15 minutes now. And we will pick up right here and do the cool side of the greenhouse on part 2 of the May greenhouse tour.